Hi, this is Dave again at TitleSearch.com. How's this for a statement? There is no such thing as an online title search. In fact, the phrase title search and the phrase online should never be together in the same sentence, other than to say there's no such thing. Well, that kind of sounds kind of funny from somebody who has a website called TitleSearch.com. .com means online. Well, here's the thing. TitleSearch.com is a place to order an actual title search, but it's not performed online. It's not a source of looking up data online. Let me tell you more about what we mean. There are no official title records online anywhere. Title is not a public record. Title, in the phrase of real estate, means an abstract understanding of all the records of that property going into an understanding of who's the owner, who are the liens, who has claims. It's not a document that stands by itself. Title is not one piece of paper that's recorded in public records. Title is also not data. It's not information that can be in a spreadsheet. Title is actually a report, a title abstract created by a title searcher to say, look, I've looked at all these pieces of paper that are in the land records. I've reviewed them, I've read them, I've seen which ones affect others, and here is the official certified title abstract on this property. That's what a title search is, and that's what title means in real estate. It's not one piece of paper like it means in vehicles, where a title to a car is something you can hold up and touch with your hands. So why are title records not data? Well, even if you look at the individual documents that go into title history, one very common understanding is that if you just pull the deed of a property, that's everything. Well, liens are not normally on a deed. So if somebody puts a lien on your house, that's not going to be on the deed. That's going to be in a separate piece of paper. If you do a title search, you're not going to find it by looking at the deed. You have to find that lien. Secondly, if that lien is later paid off, that piece of paper is still going to be in the same place. There's another piece of paper that goes in that says, hey, here's a release for that lien. You got to match them up. Part of running a title search is making sure they really match, making sure that the release actually clears off that original lien. That has to be done by looking at those documents. Online is not the place for that. Online is not the place of looking at legal records to see what they mean. Another example is within a deed itself. If you just look and see, here's a deed from Joe Smith to Bob Jones on this date, Bob Jones must own the property, right? Well, if you actually pull that piece of paper, you may find that Bob Jones owns it only until his death, and then it reverts back to the owner or goes to somebody else. There's a lot of information within the language of records that are beyond what can be put anywhere online. Also, a really good example is there a stealth title owner that's not been taken into account? Do any of these documents, mortgages, liens, deeds, have a reference to another person who may have liens against them that attach to this property? That's part of that title process. So online, you're not going to find this stuff. And online aren't the official records. Even if some county or city or state puts some of these documents that you can see in person and scan them in and put them online, they're not the official record. They may not all be there. They might only scan in some of the documents and not all of them, or certain types or certain varieties of documents. And even if, in theory, they put them all there, if you look at their disclaimer, that's not the official title record. So if you get a source from an online title search, you run the risk of having errors. And on real estate, several $100,000 worth of investment or decision, you don't want to have errors be a word that comes into that decision making. Online info might be sufficient for a particular use, as long as it's not critical, as long as it's not something that's going to put you at risk. But it is certainly not a title search. A title search is paper documents. It's a research project looking in books, actual big, huge, thick deed books that are in a land records office, or microfilm in some cases, but it's not an online thing. So here, take it from me. Even though TitleSearch.com is what we're all about, there's no such thing as an online title search. Don't try to make critical decisions based on online data information from real estate, because real estate is actual hard copy, tangible records.